What if I told you that Epic is planning to make Fortnite something completely different in comparison to what it originally is today? Something that supposedly will allow people to do whatever they want to. It has lately drawn the attention of many companies, and it goes by the name the Metaverse. And apparently, the Metaverse is no joke. Big companies are literally willing to go bankrupt for this idea, and smaller companies is investing large amount of money to be a part of it. But what is the Metaverse, and why is Epic willing to invest so much to create it? The Metaverse is a virtual reality space in which users can interact with a computer-generated environment and other users. That means you need a VR headset or some type of VR equipment in order for it to be called a Metaverse. This is something a lot of people confuse with the Metaverse, and I don't blame them for it, because the industry is doing a pretty bad job at explaining what the Metaverse actually is. So just because it is a playable open world where different IPs interact with each other, it doesn't necessarily mean it is a Metaverse. So how is the Metaverse going to be? Well, as Epic describes it, they want to make a world where all IPs can coexist, a world where you will have the possibility to play whatever game you want, whenever you want. So for instance, if you start off playing Battle Royale, you can leave Battle Royale and jump straight into a survival game mode. You don't necessarily have to leave Fortnite and start up another game. You just select another world just like you do in Creative. And this is why Epic have been working furiously to release Creative 2.0. People can create much more detailed worlds that doesn't necessarily represent Fortnite. You're going to see all type of genres, from first-person role-playing to third-person MMOs. Possibilities are endless, and we might start to see professional companies making games exclusive to specific metaverses at some point in time. There is an uncountable amount of crossovers from different brandings, and Epic isn't planned to stop anytime soon, as Epic have been running surveys listing a ton of collaboration for the future. But even though there is a lot of cool things to the Metaverse, we also gotta take into account that there is a lot of bad things as well. Something that has been massively hated the latest year, NFTs, is going to play a huge part in this Metaverse. First off, what is an NFT? An NFT stands for non-fungible tokens and is supposed to be a blockchain technology that pretty much creates a unique code for each specific item. For instance, if you buy a Tesla in the Metaverse, there can only exist one quantity of that specific Tesla, and therefore you can't copy that item, making it one of a kind. The problem is that no one sees any value in it. Or let me correct myself, no ordinary individual see any value in it. The value is determined by humans, and since it isn't any necessary resource, it becomes a very unstable market after the scammers manage to label this technology as nothing else but a massive Ponzi scheme. Another problem that is going to hit the consumer with the Metaverse is regulating the community. Since there is going to be a creator of every Metaverse, there is going to be strict rules of what is legal and what is not. And in most cases, this is usually big companies we're talking about that is hiding negative criticism in order to have the best name amongst the competitors. But if you don't find these reasons bad enough, there is a couple of more, and one of them being brand risk. Most of the time, these are unforeseeable things that can happen. And related to Fortnite, I'm specifically talking about the Travis Scott incident, where countless people lost their life in one of his concerts because of bad management. These are things nobody can foresee, and because of that, brands have to be very careful with what they collaborate with in order to avoid necessary drama. The Metaverse today is pretty similar to the situation with the internet back in the 90s. People hated it and didn't really have a lot of faith in it. So it is going to be interesting to see how far companies are going to take it. So, what are my thoughts on the Metaverse? Well, I can first off begin with that I'm a non-believer, and here's why. To me, it seems like most of the creators just try to recreate a dream they had watching 80s movies when they were younger. And because of that, I'm starting to question if this creation is more for themselves rather than the rest of the world. Don't get me wrong, the idea of a world where you can leave one game and jump straight into another sounds very neat. But you gotta remember that reality isn't always as you expect it to be. To me, the metaverse represents more a main lobby with a lot of marketing put behind it, rather than a network for multiple IPs to coexist to create a new world. The metaverse seems more like a VR chat recreated by a larger company. Have in mind that these metaverses will be controlled and regulated by the companies that create them, so the metaverse is going to have a much stricter rule system than what we are used to. I believe the metaverse is just another situation like Google Stadia. Stadia was a cloud service gaming platform where people that didn't have the fundings could subscribe to Stadia in order to have access to the newest games that required the highest performing devices. But the thing about Stadia was that you need a pretty expensive internet subscription to play it at an optimal performance, and which at some cases made the games almost unplayable for most people. Just like Stadia, I believe it's way too early for the metaverse. I'm not a fan of the VR. I believe the future is in our own world rather than a virtual reality. I also do believe that it's more important to create games that's actually good and not some unfinished products. I like Fortnite, and as long as they can manage to keep people interested at no expense, I do believe that we might see something that will change the way we play video games entirely. So let me know down in the comment section what your opinion is about this metaverse stuff. I'm curious to see how you guys feel about it, but with that being said, take care of yourself guys, and have yourself a damn good one.